these disparities, unless we as a region change our lifestyle and change our thought processes. The Prime Minister challenged those in the room to turn their data into actionable plans. He insisted that ending healthcare disparities requires real world results, not just findings published in academic journals. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoot reporting.
There you had it, my friends. That was a news item from DBS News about what has happened in St. Lucia, and that the Prime Minister.
Interesting. Dominique, is serious business. Serious business. You mean our doctors are unable to go to, and of course, the Prime Minister has not said that just yet. We're getting this news from St. Lucia. But this is very, very disturbing. I heard Mr. Damian Dublin speaking about that this morning. Now, asking the U.S. to end its embargo. The big stick. The U.S. big stick is falling down on us, Dominica. It's very worrying. Our students would not be able, especially the medical students, would not be able to go to study to Cuba. And it's free, yeah? And I want to encourage, of course, our local doctors in the diaspora to come and give some service. I know my friend Dr. Dale has been offering service for a long time. So what has happened now? So PM, why have you kept this away from us? I know you're in Dubai at this time, but it appears this policy is for the entire Caribbean region there. America doesn't want our students in Cuba anymore. This is a worrying trend. Very, very worrying. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
I'm here. It's a little
Well,
sad.
I just heard the statement that you made. I had also read it. And I just have one question. Whilst America is asking or demanding that St. Lucians, well, we don't know about Dominica yet because we've not been told anything, but they're demanding that St. Lucia does not send students to Cuba to study. I want to know if in a parallel move, America is going to offer scholarships so it will replace those scholarships that St. Lucia is getting from Cuba. That is what I want to know.
I would say ask the same thing. I mean, if we're getting free scholarships to Cuba, America should offer the same. Are you there, caller? That's a big stick.
Matt, in the interest of time, Matt,
Yes.
My thoughts exactly. Good morning.
Good morning to you on the telephone. I don't think, I won't say it's fair. And I'm hoping that the Cuban, of course, a lot of our Cuban graduates, who supports the Dominican Labour Party, I'm hoping that they can call in and, share their view on that. Hello, talk to me. Good morning. It's not.
Good morning to you, Matt, and how are you this morning?
Morning to you, morning.
Matt, I am very concerned, when I'm here those things there, because, it's going to affect us. Because look at the amount of people we have trained in Cuba over the years.
Yes.
And it has been very helpful to our country. The thing is, America is using, especially President Trump, that big stick approach, that bullying approach, man. But I think Harry comes to stand up to President Trump, that is really getting out of hand. Now, you're telling us not to send our people to train in Cuba. How many scholarships are you going to give us? Right? It is telling us that we must not send our doctors to train in Cuba, where they are getting scholarship to do it. Is America going to give us the scholarship Cuba is giving us now? The kind of assistance we get from Cuba over the years, man, that is unfair. We know for sure Mike is right. That is the kind of approach President Trump has. But then the time comes to stand up.
You're saying that America is overdoing it?
Of course, man. They are overdoing it, man. And our Prime Minister should not keep that as a secret from us. Let us know what is happening.
We heard this first from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. That's I'm asking, PM, didn't you know that? Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, good morning, Mark.
Morning to you, yeah.
Like the first caller said, America is not going to be giving us scholarships, not really, right? But my problem with that whole issue is that, or two problems I have. One, CARICOM, or the Caribbean region, are we not seeing the cost of this unity? Because if we unite as a region and just tell Americans, do not come, we cannot come by you, do not come by us. The average American cannot afford a ticket to go to Mali and Bali and all the way across the world. That is one problem. The next problem I have with that whole situation is that why does America believe they have the right to tell a country who they can deal with? Nobody is telling America who they can or cannot deal with. Trump is there kissing the behind of Vladimir Putin for the longest while, and nobody's telling him not to do it. He wants to do that, his prerogative. Why does Trump believe he can tell people who to deal with in their own country? The Caribbean needs to unite, and the Caribbean needs to eliminate North America from the equation. Because all the things we need, we can get it from places like Panama and Latin America, right? So we just need to erase North, and not just the Caribbean, the rest of the world. Leave North America on its own, and we will see how good they can survive on their own. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Apparently, Dominicans are standing on this one. Yes. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Martha. It's The Brain.
The Brain. Good morning to you, The Brain.
You know what it's called? Gunboat diplomacy?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Or dollar diplomacy, yes.
Yeah, exactly. You have guns, you have warships, you have planes, so you think you can just invade countries and, come on, man. The world is standing up against this kind of policy. The whole, majority of the world leaders are standing against that policy. And that's just a ridiculous policy. You cannot be giving us nothing and you expect us not to take something when we're getting it. You know what I mean? Come on, my brother, man.
You think it's totally unfair, Brain?
And let me tell you that. The Brain stands with the Cuban people. The Brain stands with the Cuban people. You hear what I'm telling you, Brain? I'm Matt. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, Matt, it's not only the Brain standing with the Cuban people. We have problems with ideologies and this and that. But remember what Nelson Mandela said. That was who came to help him when they were in need. America was still trying to keep South Africa under the apartheid regime, Even when Mandela was there, President Clinton was trying to get him to diss Cuba. And he said, I can't do that. That's my ally. That's who came to help me. But America is taking this joke too far. And Donald Trump, I hate to say it, is not very smart. Donald Trump is the personification of what you call a racist, a white supremacist, the personification. They want to bully everybody, and it's not going to work. We have to. The only way to deal with a bully is to stand up against him. If we defy him, what's he going to do? Bomb Dominica? We have to show him that we're not going to comply. We send our students to Cuba End of message. What's he going to do? Or you have to bring him to the bargaining table and say, okay, you don't want us to go to Cuba? We've defied you. What are you going to do that we will go along with you? Free education for all Caribbean people in America. They can afford it. If you can give us free education, then we will go with you. Otherwise, we're going with Cuba. End of message.
All right, thank you very much. 449-3095. Interesting. Are you there, caller? Yes. And of course, we stand to face a lot of repercussions, repercussions there if we don't follow the big stick policy of America this time. I think it's, it's a little harsh that America decides to take that stand against Caribbean countries. Most of our medical doctors have been trained in Cuba. Will that policy also affect the other students studying in Cuba? Hello, talk to me on the telephone.
Yes, morning, Matt.
Morning to you.
Matt,
Yes.
my main issue about that whole situation is why is the Prime Minister of Dominica quiet about this? And he plays like he's so smart, he knows everything. He's not speaking about these issues, and I'm sure Skerrit knows about that. I know he knows.
I'm sure, of course.
He needs to be honest with the people and start to tell us what's going on in our country, for our country, on behalf of our country. Skerrit needs to stop that. Good day.
Good day. All right. Thank you very much. As I said earlier, that I think the Prime Minister should come clear with the people and tell them the whole truth about these conditions placed on us. I know, for example, Antigua have sent back its Cuban nurses, and now we have Ghanaian nurses there, nurses from Ghana. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yeah, the last caller, I agree with what he said. If the Prime Minister know what that happening, let people know. Stop making people stay in the darkness and ask Dr. Dublin, Dr. Jotuse, all these people that go and study, and today all of them have their own business. So Donald Trump must behave himself, and America, they're overdoing it because they will never take their students in America. So Donald Trump better behave himself in his poo-poo boom boom. Take care.
Hey, Marlon, go easy. Be very careful. 9:06 is the voting time. Plus, America doesn't give scholarships for medicine. We need to stand up united against this. One former Cuban student is telling me at this time. We need to stand up as CARICOM against this. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yeah, bro. Good morning.
Morning to you, bro.
Yeah, I am listening. I have not called your program, Martin, in a very, very long time.
Okay.
But I'm home not very well, and I'm listening to what is happening.
Okay.
We don't seem to understand the root of our problem. This government has never been transparent. Skerrit has never been a transparent prime minister, and we keep saying Skerrit. We are making Skerrit a bigger dictator than he is. Skerrit is not a dictator, and if he is, he's a wannabe. It's we are the ones that are making him a dictator. This government has never been transparent with Dominicans as to what's happening around us. You remember the one China policy, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
You remember? And this one China policy up to today, after 20 plus years, Dominicans still have not seen what transpired, what was agreed upon between China and Dominica. Yet we sit down there and we want to blame America, blame this, blame our home, blame our child, blame our neighbor. Matt, is just not right how our people thinking. It's because of how our people thinking. The government is running the country how its people's thinking. They don't give a rat's because obviously, if you're not asking questions, Matt, we were told to put our house in order regarding the passports.
Mm-hmm.
You remember what happened in the end?
Yep.
You see what happened in the end? The end result was very simple, that we end up taking the big stick. And we still relax about it. We don't care really about it. And they will continue to tell us lies. And I'm saying that one man thing doesn't sit well with me. If we are a team, if you are put there to govern as a team, it cannot be about you. You know, since it has become about you, then something is wrong. It's already wrong. So what we need to do is to right the wrong and stop all this complaining, because all this complaining makes us feel like really the power should remain our flag. We just keep roaring and doing nothing or very little about it, because everybody waiting for something. Not I hope you're not waiting for something. You know. I am not waiting for something, but I hope you're not waiting for something, my brother.
I know.
I'm not waiting for sure. And I can tell you, my brother, keep doing what you're doing. The sky is your limit. You are a good person and you want to see justice. But unless the people realize what's happening, which I think, I don't even know if they ever will. I have questions now, my brother. So the people that are calling, let's be sensible in calling. We want to hate people, we want to like people, we want to say it's too much pressure on us. But if you are asked to put your house in order and you did not, and I come to put it in order for you, you're not going to determine how I put it. You're wrong. If you have a wife at home and your children at home and you're not feeding them, and some other man decides to feed them, you're in problems, boss. Plain and simple. I'm listening.
All right, thank you very much for your opinion as well. 910, as I said, you know, you've been asked over and over to put your house in order. Nothing seems to have happened. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Matt.
Opinion, yes. Good morning.
Hello, morning.
Morning to you, sir. How you doing? Trying my best.
I too want to see something about this thing, because we have to be very careful that we have to touch this thing with some type of gloves. I do support Trump is nonsense, because Trump already said the whole area here, the whole Americans, he wanted from Iceland, from Greenland, right down to the end of Argentina. He wanted to control, and even more than that. So we in the Caribbean, really, he feel like he can hold all those countries to himself. But the point is, I mean, he's now stopping oil boats to go to Cuba. So let us look at this thing and make sure I know all of us I was very fortunate to have my children who went to Cuba before, and I'm very happy for the whole situation there. I know the importance of Cuba. I feel we have a right to support what government we want to. But Trump doesn't see this thing like that. So let's make sure when we're saying that too, I mean, we have to say and say, let's talk bold and so on. This man not concerned about us, he's not concerned about the entire thing, right? Because he has the handle and me holding the blade. Be careful with this thing when we want to crash up on this and that and that. We can talk bold, but Trump doesn't forget. So why should our government should be saying something, trying to let us know what is happening in the situation? We mustn't make him believe that he wants to make any damage to us, because we depend on oil, we depend on all that business. We don't have anything right now to live by. And the situation is because don't have anything, you know? And Trump can control and close it down and this and that and so on. Be careful with the entire thing. You see, I feel, you know, it's not right. It's not right for you to tell me you don't want our students or people who want to study by you, my God. It's not right. Because it doesn't give us anything. And to catch up, so it's like it costs us so many 100,000. Himself saying he wants everything to be in America. All the money will be spent the money in America, right? And he finds himself in a position. He knows people as from at least trying to make a living for himself. My God, it's not right. But let's make sure we have gloves in our hand and make sure that we don't begin to get him in a position where he wants to take a revenge on us and so on and create some surviving. But he's already attacking Cuba. No boats going to Cuba, no oil and so on. Our students may have to come back. They can't leave up there and so on. I know if our children can come back here because of the situation. You don't think that will happen. So, what is happening to us here is really, it hurts. It hurts to the Caribbean Island. I mean, it doesn't have a Dominica yet, but I expect it to happen in Dominica. It hurts. The Cubans helping us all the time. The doctors helping us, the nurses helping us, all different things coming with this. And all of a sudden, you just want to close us down, man. I mean, that's not fair.
I know. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Scarrett and the DLP is the underlying problem. Somebody says there on Facebook. Get rid of the DLP. Period. These people are exploiting Dominique. It's time we stand on our own. I'm just reading there some of the notes there on Facebook. Dominica was asked to put its house in order, and they did not comply. So, hence, what is happening at this time. PM again. I know you're somewhere in Dubai from today. I think you should be clear and a little more transparent to the people of Dominica. We should have been told. We're hearing the news all the way from St. Lucia this morning. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, sir. Morning.
I am not hearing anybody speaking of the cause of the embargo on Cuba. Why did America put that embargo on Cuba for so long? No one is speaking about the reason why. Everybody's blaming America. Is there an underlying difference or something that caused that decision for so many years we do not know about or we shy away from? America has a reason why they had to put an embargo on Cuba, and we are missing that point. Thank you.
Thank you. The way the Caribbean countries are being pushed over proves that over time our leaders haven't built strategic coalitions. It's easy to push over our country, one country, unlike if regional programs were formed. I just want to go back to this. If the big stick wants to remove our programs, we should be offered an alternative in our best interest as Caribbean people. It's the Blockade Brigade waiting to hear from Dominica stands because transparency is rare in government. As I said before, our prime minister should be straight and tell us just what is going on. But we're hearing the news from St. Lucia. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Matt, good morning.
Morning to you,
Good
sir.
hour from Massac.
Yes, sir.
But let me tell you something. Between you and I, right about now, I wish Trump right now trace where Scarrett be and bomb the plane. Because my brother, me say that this fever, me say Satan. That is why he said that there will be other things that will come up, and he knew all damn well, he knew where very well. All the cards, they set all the cards on the table, and he's aware of it, but he's just keeping us in darkness. My brother, I hate Mr. Passion,
All right, well, I want to encourage you to hate anybody, my brother. Be careful with your words. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Matt, good morning.
Morning to you, my brother. How you doing? Yes.
I am good. Matt, is it possible to be half pregnant?
No, it's not.
Good. A few weeks ago, I heard Dominicans and Caribbean people worshiping Trump because of what he had done to Venezuela. Right? They did not see anything wrong with his actions. Today, Dominica, well, I know it's going to happen to Dominica because it's a thing that it is going from country to country. St. Lucia has made it public.
I think we may be aware, but as I said, I think the Prime Minister and his government may be aware, but is not informed the Dominican people, because in that news clip, the person said Dominica, Trinidad, Barbados, all of the other countries. So I think the governments know.
Okay, we blame Dominica government for everything that happened with the passport and our relationship with Shenzhen and China and everything that America does not want. Matt, tell me, what is the correlation between our passport and what they are doing to Cuba? There's none. We have had relations with Cuba for decades, and Cuba has been a very benevolent friend to the Caribbean.
That's true.
Okay? We cannot see anything that America has done for our infrastructure. We can see what China has done. We cannot blame China for having a one-sided policy, a lump-sided policy. We have to blame our people who go and negotiate with them. If you send school children to negotiate with professors, you know that you're not going to get anything that is balanced.
Mhm.
So we have to blame those juveniles who our government sent to negotiate. I see no reason why what we are facing to where China, America wants to tell us who our friends should be, who they should not be, and we just capitulate. I have a problem with it. When I listen to the St. Lucian Prime Minister making a statement, China, America is pressuring us to stop this thing with Cuba. But he never told them, while they're pressuring us, what is the reciprocal action? What is the opposite reaction? Is America going to take those students that they have gotten to study in Cuba? Our Caribbean brains are based on Cuban studies. This is the only place. And so when America is trying to tell us who we should send, where we should send our children to study and where we shouldn't, they should in the same vein tell us, if you're accustomed to send 20 to Cuba every year, we will take those 20. But when you don't do that, you are just putting us in the open. You are calling up your backyard, and so you're telling us, okay, what is not good for your backyard is junk. And it's time that the Caribbean countries unify and speak with one voice. And until that happens, we are going to get America bullying us.
But do you in reality, do you think that the Caribbean can stand up to big America? Just a question.
Matt, do you know there's a country called Africa?
Yes.
Good. Africa is self-sufficient, and anything we can get from America, we can get from Africa. I was just reading a story today, just a while ago, where an American landed in Mali with an American passport. And they didn't wait for the next flight. The same flight they put him on. They say, if America can do that to our people, they don't want our people in their country, we don't want theirs. And on the same flight he came, they put him back and said, go back to your country. Right? And if we are allowed to build our relations with who we want, America would respect us more. They would. That is why they are against Cuba. For decades, they have had an embargo against Cuba that has not crippled Cuba. It has not killed it. It's crippled it, it's not killed it. Because Cuba is still standing strong, and the Americans cannot believe that. Because they cannot tell the Americans to have relations with Russia. They cannot tell them not to have relations with whoever they want. They, Cubans, are doing it. So if we stand up like Cuba, we solidify, we unify with Cuba, rather than going against Cuba, who has been a great friend to us, we will see our lives.
It means that we will have a lot of complications there, because our tourism, our cruise industry will die. You know that.
Isn't Cuba surviving?
They are, but the tourists are still going to Cuba.
And so when you think that the tourism is going to, our cruise is going to die, Matt, the cruise industry makes its greatest profit percentage within the Caribbean countries, Matt. That is where they make their great first profit. Because that is where the people are dying to come. So when we will stop it, the very same Americans will begin to land on their government and say, you have done stupidness. That is where we want to go. That is where we want to see. And something will be done. It will have a ripple effect. Right? It will have a ripple effect. It cannot be just one-sided. So when they stop their cruise tourism from coming here, the Americans will begin to feel it. They go on their government. It destabilizes America. We have to stand up for something, or we're going to fall for anything that passes our way, Matt. America should not be our bully, and every bully has its master one day, right? He's going to have his master. America, we have nothing to show in our infrastructure that America has given to us. Absolutely nothing. Yet they want to tell us where we should go and get where we should.
But I've heard from, of course, security ministers, including Mr. Balakmo, that in terms of security, America seems to be their biggest friend.
Matt, that is because America is doing that for its own good. Not because they're helping us, but they're doing it for their own good. What we stop from entering America is to America's advantage, not to our advantage. So when they give us a little Coast Guard vessel, remember they take it when they want, they change it when they want, they say, okay, we don't want that one for you, we'll take it back again. Right? That is the only thing. Anything that you can take from a person is not beneficial to the person. So when Blackmore and them will chat like that, Blackmore and them are saying that because they are just dancing to the tunes America give them to dance to. Not because we are seeing anything from it. No. I don't think America is helping us. America is looking after its own interests, and we are playing in their hand. I bet all those leaders who say they are sovereign countries like Skerrit and them, they are regretting the day we became independent.
But we have to be, I said you have to be treating this whole issue carefully, because if America decides to block down Western Union or MoneyGram, all people will suffer the consequences. You would agree?
Matt,
Yes.
there are other ways of doing those things, man. Okay? Let me tell you something. Who do you think is America's help? These little remittances that we get from America, from our families, from America?
No, but
It's all people's hard work.
But through the international banks, for sure.
Matt, we will find a way out of that.
Okay.
And if we get proper planning, we have good government, those things will come to pass.
But I'll tell you, it's not going to be that easy. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's do this one day from Caressa. Deba, boy. Deba in the Caribbean. Deba. Caressa 2026. Deba.
No Venezuelan suddenly get caught. Into my India. They're singing, who stop top aggression. What we want is peace. Striking so hard, no pity for Shiba again. Get from Trinidad, get the roof out of the shoot. No, it's not beat us. No, it's not with us. Shoot. Oh, tell the hands, we don't want this. We don't want this. In the yard, Milado. The pigeon head starting to fall. Just this booster fall because of his back. He think he right and taking advantage is his delight. You thank everyone is that he could be catastrophic and the penalty. Just get rid of him. All them little pocket you can't make us stay shoe. But they will regret if they get the booster. And we singing, booster, what we want is peace. Striking so hard, look at the Shiba yard. Get from Trinidad, get the roof out of the yard. Shoot. No, he's stand to beat us. No, he's stand to squeeze us. Shoot. Oh, get the heads. We don't want this. We don't want this. In the yard, oh Milado.
Deba in the yard. Let's get back to the telephone at this time. Hello, talk to me. Good morning. I'm so sorry. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, let me tell you, I'm not supporting what is going on at the program you have there right now.
Right.
But you remember when the 20 Dominicans come back from Cuba, when the UWP government that sent them to study, when they come back, what did the big King Kong do with them?
Oh, I know. I remember.
Well, talk about that one and let's level it out.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much. Yes, 927. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Matt.
Yes, you're back.
Yeah, Matt, there was a caller that said that in regard to finances, you were trying to tell him that it would be difficult and that it's not an easy way to get out. That is a fact, Matt. If America wants to punish us, all it has, well, I don't want to make the suggestion, Matt. They control the financial system.
True.
And they can really hurt us. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to give Donald Trump any ideas in detail. So they already know how they can cripple us with the financial thing. But I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, Matt, suppose China offers us 1,000 scholarships for the Caribbean region, and we decide to send them there, Trump is going to make noise about that too. I mean, how far is this joke going to go?
But I said, and I put to the Prime Minister, a couple of weeks ago at the news conference, I said, it's going to come a time, PM, that we have to choose between America and China. It's getting very, very difficult,
Do we have to choose? That America is saying we have to choose, but do we have to? Can we at least show some resistance to that and see how they behave? I mean, we will suffer. We can suffer. Cuba has been suffering for 60 plus.
But you would understand, and let's be realistic. Dominica has more family ties, to America. How many students do we have in Cuba, in China, for example? How many students do we have in China studying at this time? How many students we have had? A few, maybe about 100, just using the number. But most of family ties are tied with America. Would you agree?
I would agree, Matt, but on the other hand, I would also say that how do they expect us to choose America when they themselves are already choosing China over us? They have chosen China over us. Donald Trump he wanted to get rid of Puerto Rico even. He wanted to trade Puerto Rico for Greenland. So they have chosen China. Their relation to China is more important than us. So why is it that we have to choose them and not China? So we have that argument. Why should they decide that we must? They're not even giving us a choice, no, Matt.
I think we have to go to the negotiating table at time. It's time to go back to the drawing board, if you will.
We need to challenge them a little bit because we cannot just lie down and play dead and go along. We need to show some resistance to it and try to point out some kind of logic.
That'll be beneficial to us. I get your point. Yes.
Okay, Matt.
Thank you. 449-309, Matt. All these things are happening as a result of our geopolitical standing in the past against the USA. If Dominica wants to solve these medical issues, they can grant automatic citizenship to the Cuban medical personnel. So who wants to remain in Dominica and negotiate with the Americans if that is acceptable? It is a great place to start. One must try all avenues in difficult times. America is using their might. We have no choice. It is either we bend or we break at this time. It does not make sense or do not make the U.S. right or they don't care. Always remember, it is as a result of our geopolitical standing for some time. We are in America's sphere and our influence, they are using their influence against us. That's period. 449-3095. Are you there, caller? More points. Are you there?
Yes, Matt. Good morning.
Morning to you, yes.
I want to just enter this conversation a little bit.
Yes, go ahead.
Folks, we are nothing in the geopolitical conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If the Caribbean wants to be a part of it and to even have a voice, they must do what the United States did. Have a little United States of the Caribbean. Unless that can happen, and for those of us who can remember way back.
You're saying you have to have a United States of the Caribbean? That's what your point is?
Basically.
Okay.
In order to have a little more muscle. But as we stand now, and the reason the Federation failed is that individual islands, the leaders don't want to give up power. You see? They got a certain distance and turn back because everybody wants to be in charge of their own island. I want to be the boss of here. I know Jamaica don't want, Trinidad don't want to give up, Dominica don't want to give up. And so you find that we are all scattered. So divided we fall. What power do you have as a very small dot in this ocean? You don't. So might is right. That is the American philosophy. Might is right. I can, so I do. So the idea of talking about China, we're going to have a choice between China and United States. No, we don't. Okay? We are...
So you're saying we don't have a choice. That's your point. We don't have a choice.
We don't have a choice. You cannot... The only thing I say we cannot do about right now, just wait patiently for Trump to be out of power. Get the Republicans out When the Democrats come in, it will be a different ballgame. We'll see a different world. Just like here, when this guy comes out, we have a different approach to America. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Matt. The callers that think that the Caribbean can go against America, they're delusional. You don't have to like the Trump administration, but you can agree that they're exposing how small island politicians have been focusing on re-elections campaigns throughout the years and not actually building and sustaining our country's human resource. Do people see the massive list of Dominican graduates every year in American universities? Why is this government spending millions on students without bond to go to American universities and not creating an environment for them to return? Why have we not created the environment for our nurses and other students to stay over the years? But across the Caribbean governments, they're always looking for salary increases and building country on donations. Tell your callers I'm not going to live miserable like Cubans with them going against America, and Cuba needs to be finally liberated. 449-3095-96. As that person is saying, Cuba needs to be liberated. So I am not living like Cubans at this time. Hello, talk to me. Another point of view. Are you there?
Yes, Matt. That is that caller's choice if he want to be a boom boom fly to America. But we should tell America go to hell. That's not their damn business who we dealing with. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. At 9:35, hello, talk to me. Yes.
Mark,
Yeah.
can army with stone and catapult stand with army with guns and bombs? Just a question.
What was that? No, we can't.
Can an army stand with catapult and stone against the army guns and bombs?
No. I said no.
Just a question.
All right, 449-3095-96 and 97. Very, very interesting conversation here. We have mixed views. Some are with America, some are with Cuba. Are you there? Talk to me. Yes. Hello.
Hey, Matt, morning.
Morning to you. Morning.
Morning, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt. With that conversation this morning, it's not that Trump have anything against Dominica, Grenada, and Vincent, those places.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Trump is trying to eliminate communism in the Western Hemisphere. If you put pressure on Venezuela, pressure on Cuba, he automatically weakening China and Russia. So it's not about he want to bully us or doing unjust to us. He's after Cuba. So if you can get Cuba to change the regime, Venezuela change the regime, it's going to be better for everybody in the Western Hemisphere. It's simple.
All right, that's your opinion. It's 936-449-3095-9697. Don't believe the Americans are not listening, eh? I tell you, they record every program. 936, and listening very, very carefully. 936 is the morning time. Let's do this and come back. Let's do this, yes?
Matt, I understand people want to be independent and stand on their own 2 feet. But let's be realistic, okay? This is not an argument. This is a discussion. The Caribbean have not done enough since independence to stand on their own 2 feet, Matt. All right? Let's go geopolitics. China versus America. You just stated how many students and the dependency of the Caribbean on Europe and America. Matt, we have not no place right about now to say, well, we're going to stand on our own. Or if America say you pick China or America to say, well, we're going to pick China, Matt, you will lose that fight. You will lose that battle. Because let's look at it. Your imports today, most of what you import come from the United States. Most of the money that is spent in the Caribbean come from the United States. If the United States stops recidivism, Matt, the Caribbean go broke because the leaders have done nothing to build a real Caribbean economy. So, Lord, we could go on and on with this, man. We don't have the power to stand on our own. We cannot stand our own presently. I don't know about the future. And in this geographic space that we sit, Matt, if America say you do this or you don't do that, And here is the consequences. We will lose every time, man. I can understand people want to stand on their own, but we must make common sense take the first place. See, put the facts on the table. Do your subtraction and your addition, the pros and cons, and see where you come out versus China, i.e., America. Matt, I'm listening. Sometimes the discussion is a good one, but we must think deep on these things, Matt. All right?
Thank you.
I'm listening.
Thank you.
Just taking from the country, leaving the country, expense of the country.
The United Progressive Party will be exploring the truth, the whole truth, and nothing.
For too long, we have certain persons just taking from the country, bleeding the country, all about self at the expense of the country.
The United Progressive Party will be exploring the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Tuesday, February 3rd at the Fokole Resource Center, 7 p.m.
We are calling on all Dominicans, those of you who are whatever right you have, our country should take center stage. Should be focused in our mind as to its development and further development as we move towards the future.
Help build a team that will unite.
Our vision is to build Dominica as the nature island of the Caribbean, to develop a niche, to make Dominica the food basket.
The writing is on the wall, and Dominicans must attend to our business. It is high time, it is past time, and so Dominicans, now is the time for us to put those little petty, negative, trivialities things aside. And let us focus on country, and by all stretch of the imagination, we will realize our goals.
Fokole Resource Center, Tuesday, February 3rd. Be there.
Flow makes your next phone upgrade easy. Add postpaid to your internet plan and score a Samsung Galaxy for as low as $33 a month. It's the smartest way to an interest-free premium phone upgrade. Don't let anything stand between you and that new phone feeling. Step into your upgrade with confidence. Visit us in store and sign up today. We keep your rhythm flowing. Terms and conditions apply.
It's 9:41 in the morning, Dominica. This is Q95. This is the Hot Sits. Matt, good mornings. Until Scaro tells us about the new condition from the U.S., it's like fake news. Please call the world boss for us. He was boasting about getting visas just last month. Matt, our bosses will all be selling passports and building mansions, buying elections, having a damn good time, and never put things in place for the future. What a life. Good morning to you, man. Interestingly, students who study medicine in Cuba are not accepted to practice in the U.S. They must do their studies all over in the U.S. It's unfair that the U.S. has no succession plan to replace the pressure they're putting on underdeveloped countries. The Cold War is a fight corruption and communism. It's to fight corruption and communism. Oh boy. Matt, I know a lot of Caribbean people and Dominicans who have voted this man despite they've been warned about Project 2025. They did not care. Now their thoughts that it was going to happen would not happen to them. We are all paying for it. They are now regretting. So sad and pathetic. He who does not hear will feel. But by God is in charge. Good morning. God bless you always, and thank you for the work you've been doing for your country. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. More telephone calls at this time. It's 9:42. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
This is Bernard Morrow again. I like saying my name.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. When we got arrested on March 19th, all right, where was CARICOM? When Scary said all the nonsense, all the disrespect to Dominicans, where was CARICOM? All right? My brother Mike is right. And my brother, let me tell you something. If I can beat you, then I attack you. If I cannot attack you, if I cannot beat you, I do attack you. Yes. So we have to pay the price. My brother, I wish I could express myself, but because of your radio station and your radio station,
You have to cool down. You have to cool down, okay? Don't let your emotions take over. Cool down, okay? Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you always. 449-3095-96 and 97. Very interesting conversation there. On the telephone, hello, yes.
Yeah, Matt,
Yes.
question. All the pro-Cubans, Dominican Cubans, why they don't go Cuba and leave? Get the light shortage, everything. Another point I have to say, where did the Prime Minister of Dominica's wife made her last child?
You're making a point, or you're asking? You're
Well,
making a statement.
I'm asking you.
Of course, we all know it's in the U.S.
Okay, all right then. So, trust me, Dominica cannot compete with the U.S. So, we just have to give ourselves. And America, there is where our labor string is. We have, if labor rights have to vote, China or America, they would choose America. All of us, or 75% of us in Dominica, would choose America. All right? Good day.
All right. Thank you. Oh, boy. All right, Dominica. Taking a little calypso. We'll come back to talk, okay? Monac, Joy, 2026. Written by Derek St. Rose.
This song is not to bring anybody down. It's rather to educate and make our young men strong. We did to see when them put back too long. Now that's to be love at the whole country upside down. We created a monster which has to step under pressure. Now it's even higher for murder. But all is not lost if society side actions. Working together must be a must. All day you hanging out on the block, people passing you not putting it. All day people passing you their children, telling me too small, so you prefer to hang around all day on a wall to protect your merchandise and block. You find yourself to purchase that girl, and that is where the devil starts to work. All day people passing open possession. All day people passing to family. Children going into school, you sit down there playing the football. Lock your pants and get some real work. Go on and let's start to talk. Hear me now. Lord, protect our country. This is serious business. Help our boys and condemn the toys. The biggest stigma this place is hard work. Every other boy wants to chill and smoke. We get rich, lazy mentality. We not many in the cemetery. Some in the quest to make it big. Join the
Somebody says on Facebook, Matt, the Labour Party being supported by China, UWP needs to align itself with America for financial support.
in this life. Out on the block, people passing you not for doing. People passing you their children. Telling me that's a 9 to 5 too long. So you prefer to
On the telephone, hello, talk to me. I suspect our Cuban nurses, doctors may have to leave very soon, huh? If Mr. Skerritt agrees with this American policy. Are you there, caller? Sorry.
people passing open possession. You singing love it too. Pull up your pants and get some real work. Don't be woman, let's start to talk. Hear me now. Let's go country. This is serious business.
Yes, God bless our country. This is very serious business that we are facing at this time, huh? I'm sure by now you must have heard the news, huh? Our students won't be allowed to study medicine in Cuba. Are you there? Talk to me.
Yeah, morning, Matt.
Morning to you, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. What about you?
All right, hanging in there.
Okay. Matt, the biggest hindrance and problem we have is the people in government.
Okay.
We haven't got people in government that can negotiate. Savvy. Well, it doesn't seem so. Because, during the Freedom Party, Dominica was doing well.
Mm-hmm.
During the UWP, Dominica was doing well. And those two governments didn't have that kind of money, that kind of finance that the Labour Party has handled over the 20 years. Like you would hear Miss Charles would go out and come back and say, well, we went there, we negotiated, we couldn't get that, but we get that. Yeah, UWP would say, well, we went out there, we negotiated, we couldn't get that, but we got that. They came back with something, right? But this government has gone out, they're going out more than any of the other two governments before. And they doesn't come back with anything. Well, they don't say anything they come back with. They don't say where they go. Everything is secretive. Because, in my opinion, they shame to come back and say, well, we didn't get that, we couldn't get that. They don't seem to be negotiating for Dominica, right? And even so, maybe even there wasn't negotiating and couldn't negotiate, could their governance be good? Because they had enough money, $8-9 billion. Quarter of that, Dominica would be assuming people would be well off, right? So, in my opinion, our biggest problem, our only problem, not our only problem, our biggest problem is our people in governance, right? For Dominica to come back up from the level, the bottom they are in, this government.
So you're saying this government must go for Dominica. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. And it's not really, it's not hatred. We're talking about yourself and we're talking about the country. And even about the people in government, because when the country pick up, the people that is now in government will be better off. They will be better off. This government must go. That's the only answer. They must go. Okay, man.
All right. Thank you very much. 449-3095, 449-3096, 3097. More telephone calls. It's 9:52 already in the morning. Are you there? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Blessed, good morning.
Morning to you.
Ice down there is very cold, but I have something on me. I wanted to share that long ago, but I just decided to say I never get a chance. I'm going to say that. In the book of Ruth, we study Naomi and Ruth. And Naomi left Jerusalem to go over to Moab because there was a famine. But it happened that when she reached there, her husband died, her two sons died, they were married. One wanted to go when she was returned to home, she wanted to return back home. But then now, it happened that one of these sister daughter-in-law wanted to go with her. And it was a really big struggle. She didn't want her to come. She was staying up with anyway. She agreed for her to go with her. And this lady, Ruth, went back with her. And she happened, the story we read first in the book of Ruth, that she married to Boaz. And when she married to Boaz, her mother-in-law and her mother-in-law, she made a child, which is a lineage of Jesus. Most time in the Bible sheriff was telling us that when foreigners come to our place, we feed them, we take care of them. And it even said that if you harvest grain, making food, cutting food, and then give them, let them get their share. I don't think we have a right to be running, being people. I've seen the Cubans and them. They came in when all our children, people are almost blind. They took them to Cuba to think. Most of our boys and men, they studied in Cuba. And many things Cuba have been doing. And some of them are here. They're really happy to stay in Dominica. So I don't think, I think sometimes we come short of the sight of the things of God. And sometimes we need to talk to God, ask God what to do. But sometimes we go on our own thing, trust our own self and do what we have to do. And then we end up in chaos. But I think when we have to do things, we seek God first to ask a question. That is what Dominica don't do. We don't seek God to ask God, should this be, should this be? And then we find ourselves in chaos. But I think foreigners are good. I mean, if they come as bad people, we cannot something in. But I think it is good to accept people and help them. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. We are victims of the Belt and Road Initiative offered by China. The crippling debt burden might be a good place to start in terms of making a choice, if we have to make a choice. 449-3095, 449-3096, and 449-3097. 616-4257. Dominica, this is Q95, and this is The Hot Seat, Dominica's most talked about talk show. Hello, 955. Are you there? Caller, talk to me.
Yes, good morning, Matt.
Morning to you, my brother. How you doing? How you doing?
Good. I listened to the
Conversation.
debate this morning. Everybody give their thing, but one thing they fail to say, all what is happening is Prime Minister Skerrit. Skerrit are doing everything, and we need to take him out in the office that he be. Dominican put one head and take out the man to put another one. We don't take him out and put another party. If the party don't do any good, we still take him out and put another one. But what happened to Dominican? 26 years, one man in power, beating all you. We just finished with that talking. All you got fight America. Trump, all you got fight from Trump will, when Trump come out there, we free. Unless Trump there, nobody can take him out there. We have to take out our own Trump, the Trump that we have in Dominica. Is he we have to figure to how we're going to take him out. And Dr. Thompson Fontaine, he was in the IMF. He knows where to go, He knows where to get money, All you play with him. Anyway, you guys are there, listen, have a great day.
Have a great day, Matt. The problem here is that Caribbean countries do not understand the relationship between themselves and the United States. In 50 years, we have not stood up for our constitution, our own constitution. Given this history, how can we stand up to America? 449-3095, 96 and 97. So many phone calls, so many WhatsApp messages there, Matt. The Caribbean leaders, somebody says here, the Caribbean leaders, where are we? The Caribbean leaders will bow because they don't want to lose their visa. So that's a visa issue. So they will bow because they don't want to lose. They don't want to lose their visa issue. Somebody is stating here. So let's see how it goes. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes? Good morning. Are you there, caller? Sorry.
Morning to you and your listeners at home and abroad.
I recognize the voice of Mr. Johnson Boston. Good morning.
Yes, it is. I'm listening to the conversation, and
I mean, we in the Caribbean are in serious trouble. I'm even frightened for us as a Caribbean people. I have lived through where I've seen leaders in the days gone by who would stand together for the Caribbean when our bananas was facing difficulties. You had Prime Minister Eugene Charles, Prime Minister Edward Seaga, Prime Minister John Compton, Prime Minister Keith Mitchell, Prime Minister James Mitchell, and this works of it, and they stood together for the Caribbean. If you notice what happened when America took Maduro, then many of the islands stayed quiet and so forth, quiet because they didn't want to be speaking and to expose themselves to the U.S., so they stayed quiet and so forth. When the visa came on Dominica and Antigua, they stood quiet because they didn't want to object anything so that they could put themselves at risk with the United States. When they come to Dominica, they go to other islands and they speak at convention and they go on the marjor there and so forth. And that's all they feel that they can do at this time for the region. There is no collective arrangement, no collective decision, no collective delegation to speak on behalf of the region or is affecting the region. Just take, for example, here in Dominica, you have the government, yes, which you must have, and you have the opposition, which you must have in a democracy. And the government here see the opposition as an enemy and do everything in their power, lies and so on, to defame and belittle members of the opposition and so forth. And even in the United States and other countries, when there are difficulties, the government and the opposition come together and discuss a strategy as to how they face on behalf of the people, because each of them have interest in governance, in government, in parliament, in cabinet. And you saw even before this government, you had, when there was an issue with the banana industry, the little Rosie Douglas was prime minister then. He called Charles Savary, he called Edison James, and they discussed the banana industry and how they pushed to get support for it. When there was an issue to do with Campbell and Reuben Blackmore and Earl Williams, then the Bishop Malzahn, called a meeting and bring them together to resolve the issue and so forth. In those days in Dominica, it means we are far apart because we see ourselves as enemies, not as servants of the people. And that is so sad in a democracy where people in the Caribbean, in terms of geopolitics, would find themselves squeezed and so on. Now in Dominica, we see that now we are busy about confirmation and people are not even taking that on. And we're hearing that there may be a snap election because that is more interesting for them, more important for them than anything else that's affecting the Caribbean. Now you see, you have CO going on. I mean, as far as we're concerned, let us CO, let us draw ourselves into effect and so forth and ignore what is happening in the region. When we settle down, I mean, it would be so sad when we settle down to see what is happening. I mean, I had a friend who told me that they were going back to the United States and they were pulled aside and so on. And I made the point earlier on in your program some time ago that once your country is named and you come into a port, United States ports, with a Dominican passport, you'll be looked at and maybe scrutinized and so on. You may have somebody who come to work and do their work professionally, and you may have somebody who come to work to show their force, and so on, and therefore they may call you aside and interrogate you and so on. That's what is going on. You look at Barbados, for example. We saw Barbados in the early days as what we call small England, and they could, lead certain things, and we follow and we discuss, we get together. Now Barbados is busy now in a snap election because as far as they're concerned, what is happening in the world there now is not their business, so they're busy in a snap election because that's more important to Mayor Motley have a longer period within government rather than having an opportunity to help to solve matters affecting the Caribbean. We go to the UN, we talk. We go other places, we talk. We have all kinds of video where we talk, give great speeches, and at the end of the day, see where we are and so on. So we find ourselves in the Caribbean in a mess, Matt. And I had said that when Mayor Motley was coming here and Deacon Mitchell came here and Philip J. Pear, I said usually in the past they would focus on regional issues, international issues, how to collectively we could fight the issues and on behalf of the Caribbean. And we can sing. And they would then, yes, give their party their support here, certain support. But they came here and what they were doing is to attack the opposition. They left their country to come and attack the opposition and so forth because they felt their role is to denigrate opposition people and to keep them down and so on. And if you notice in Barbados now, you listen to the campaign, and the same old style campaign you saw in St. Lucia, you saw in Dominica, you saw in St. Vincent and Tobago, that is now in Barbados. The same old kind of gutter politics that is now taking over the Caribbean. And I think what is happening with us and the Americans is so sad. And worst of all, I mean, remember, Rubio Macchio is the Secretary of State. He's a Cuban. And what happened when the revolution took over, his family had to run from Cuba to the United States, and they lost their property. And so I guess now we have an opportunity to foster muscles and so on, you know, and then he's doing that. So it's really sad because, I mean, Cuba has been there for the Caribbean, for us in particular, for years. I remember when they were giving the scholarship to a political party, and then CARICOM decided, and OECS decided they will give it, you know, as a collective package to the region. And that worked, and that worked for a while now. And today to tell us that you can't study in Cuba is a sad situation, a very sad situation. And Dominicans sometimes do not face the facts. They look to how they can skirt around it to really protect their politics. But at the end of the day, the country going to hell. And I tell you, Martin, is frightening because it's getting worse every day. And I hate when I talk about the Democrats when they come in, but you hear them say nothing now. And I think now what the government here should do is to bring together the expertise in the government, in the opposition, in the public service, and persons who are serving that seat. And I made that point earlier on. And let's have a broad committee that can meet and decide who you speak to in the United States. You need to lobby congressmen, you need to lobby secretaries of different subjects in the United States, and so on, to put Dominica case forward. Because Dominica is a small, struggling country. And I can tell you, if America really put the squeeze on us, we will be in total poverty because, I mean, our dollar is pegged to the United States dollar, that's the EC dollar and so on. So it tells you a lot of what we do depend on the U.S. And there's nothing being said by the region that they're lobbying Europe, they're lobbying nowhere to give them support, because what happens when you start wrong, you end up wrong. Because if we had done our thing properly, now we feel a little better to go to the United Kingdom and speak to them, go to Canada, go to them and speak to them and see how they can form a Caribbean alliance with these people, including Africa, to fight this issue. But now we're almost on our own, like a ship in the sea, they're just floating with no direction. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's 10:06 in the morning. Let's take a few voice notes. Yeah.
Good morning, Matt.
Morning. Yeah.
Matt, that clipping you just played is very, very troubling, because in recent times we've heard that students will not be getting visas to go to the U.S. to study.
Mm-hmm.
So if the U.S. is not going to give our students visas to study in the U.S., do you really think that they're going to give them scholarships? And now the country that is giving our countries in the Caribbean scholarships, you are telling them that they're not allowed to go to that country and study. What are you trying to do? Is the U.S. really trying to take bread from us and then eat the little crumbs that we get, they're mashing on it just the same? I mean, this is very, very troubling. It's time for the Caribbean to stand as a block, especially on this, Matt, because when you take education from a people, you take life from them. You know, my father always used to say, education is the key to wealth. Education is the key to get you out of poverty. So is this new U.S. administration going to keep us poor so they can continue to dictate our every move? Matt, this is more than troubling. Besides just being troubling, Matt, it is very, very hurtful, because there are many doctors that have been trained in Cuba, Matt, that serve the Caribbean. You're now telling us we cannot. I understand you don't want them working in the Caribbean, Cuban doctors working in Caribbean islands. But now you want to dictate to us that our students should not be educated in their field of study free in Cuba, but you're not giving us an alternative. Matt, very troubling, very hurtful, very, very hurtful.
Matt, this issue is not with America and Trump. The big question is how united we are as CARICOM leaders to take a unified approach on the matter. It cannot be a matter to be dealt with an individual country approach. It's time these leaders do what is right for the people. Unity is strength. When me and the leaders goes to the UN and all these international forums, they need to speak collectively on this issue. I'm here from my friend Mr. Lennon Matthew.
Matt, good morning to you. Good
morning to you. Yes.
I'm hearing your conversation again this morning, and I think you are on the subject of the U.S. putting pressure on our CARICOM, on our region, to remove Cuban-trained doctors or prevent our students our people from going to Cuba and study medicine. Matt, in every conversation, there are pros and cons, there are benefits, there is advantages and disadvantages. And I think in that conversation, it should not be a simple, do I agree or do I not agree? I think we have to analyze where the world is. We have to analyze the geopolitical situation again, and understand that there is still a link and a connection between the fight for democratic societies and communist style societies. That has never stopped. It has not stopped. And there are many good things that the Cuban medical program have done for the human resource in Dominica. But what I have seen happening in the recent past is they are used to cover the incompetencies of our own medical system, where our human resource is not developed enough to take care of our people. And when nurses and doctors complain about the conditions in Dominica and the increase in pay, the government itself, the minister itself, tell them they can go. We will just get Cubans to come and work. And what happens is they are allowed to manipulate and basically psychologically imprison our own civil servants, our own medical professionals, to the point where hundreds of them have to leave for better life. So instead of improving the conditions, they can get the Cuban nurses and the Cuban medical staff to work at a discounted price. And what that does, it enables the dictatorship to continue to spread its tentacles and its manipulation of the population. So in that regard, I don't disagree with what the U.S. decision is making. If that's the intention, to put pressure on the dictatorships that have been taking root in the Caribbean, aided by Cuba, with the help of the Chinese and Russians and frankly, Iranians. These people there is still that fight that has been happening since the Cold War, and it's never stopped. Human beings have always struggled on who shares the resources, who manages the resources. And it could work if we have people with high moral standings and values and ethics in governance. But when we have thieves and rogues and vagabonds, then you got serious problems, and the power of the people is eliminated. And that's what we see happening in Dominica through our electoral reform madness and all the other shenanigans that have been going to keep certain people in power. But when it comes to the Chinese, all we have to do is to look at the amount of exports, which helps your exporting country. Look at the amount of exports to the United States from the CARICOM region versus China. Look at the amount of imports from China to the Caribbean, and see where there's a trade or a trade balance or imbalance, and see who's replacing our our stores, our local vendors, our local market. And if you have a country importing stuff to your country and it's not even sold by you, but sold by their own people, it tells you something. So we just answering a question whether it's China or the United States, but we're not analyzing what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages. Yes, we are independent countries, but we don't exist in isolation, and too long CARICOM has tried to live in isolation, not understanding their people have potential and power, and the human resource capital has never been fully exploited or used to build the region. So here we are depending on a few so-called strong men with some convoluted or misguided self-importance that start calling themselves world boss. When you look at who elects some of these people, less than 1,000 people, probably 1,500 people, but they consider themselves world bosses because a certain constituency give them the power to represent people in parliament. That's the height of the stupidity of our leadership in the Caribbean. And the biggest thing they can boast about is a pit latrine stuff, not economic growth. And I think that is the main issue. Unless we fight for democracy, Matt Peltier, unless we fight for our people to be able to select who they want to lead them, unless we bring back our values, principles in our society, and not sitting around for one man or certain people who have misguided motivations to come and influence us, then we have problems. And I don't have any problems with the Americans getting involved, because for over 15 years, Roosevelt Skerrit have allowed the Chinese to influence our election in Dominica. I hope I'm not the only one seeing that, but the Chinese have been financing and propping not the people of Dominica, but the Labour Party. So if the Chinese are influencing our election, then we have to have a counter to the communist-style government that enables the dictatorship and the corruption in Dominica.
Our first Global Beyond Q show for 2026, and we continue to engage with our local, regional, and global Q family listeners and friends of Dominica at home and abroad. With me Tuesday night is Justice Dr. Irving Andre, social scientist Simeon Joseph, Father Herman Chaplitz, and Pastor Randy Rodney. We will discuss politics and society, the abuse of religion in Dominica. There are a few issues and questions and talking points. Is there a clash between politics and the gospel? Does the church in Dominica play any role in preserving democracy? Should pastors and priests be involved in politics? Are some political leaders preying on religion, or are these leaders preying on the poor? Is religion being used as an opium of the people or as an oppressor of the people? Have religious events been poisoned by the lust for power and money? Have politicians pivoted to scripture and religious ceremonies to influence and pacify voters? Is there an exchange between government and churches in shaping the moral fiber of the nation? Have politicians and government hijacked religious ceremonies and festivities for political gain? Can gospel music festivals be organized by governments be genuine economic drivers for Dominica? Why should a government organize a gospel festival free of charge and yet not disclose the source of the financing and the proceeds generated from the event? Is the separation of church and state a valid proposition? Does the church have a role to play in justice and peace? Can peace exist without justice? What about human rights and the dignity of human beings? So we look forward to the contributions of Justice Dr. Irving Andre, social scientist Simeon Joseph, Father Herman Chaplitz, Pastor Randy Rodney, and the callers and viewers on the radio, on Facebook and on YouTube, on our topic, politics and society, the abuse of religion in Dominica. So join us for more Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on the Global Beyond.
Let's go back to the telephone. Are you there? Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Nobody there.
Too long we have certain persons just taken from the country, bleeding the country, all about self at the expense of the country.
The United Progressive Party will be exploring the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Tuesday, February 3rd at the Fokole Resource Center, 7 p.m.
We are calling on all Dominicans, those of you who are whatever right you, because our country should take center stage, should be focused in our mind as to its development and further development as we move towards the future.
Help build a team that will unite.
Our vision is to build Dominica as the nature island of the Caribbean, to develop a niche, to make Dominica the food basket.
The writing is on the wall, and Dominicans must attend to our business. It is high time, it is past time, and so Dominicans, now is the time for us to put those little petty, negative, trivialities things aside, and let us focus on country, and by all stretch of the imagination, we really realize our goals.
Fokole Resource Center, Tuesday, February 3rd. Be there, united. All right, Dominican, somebody says, man, the only thing that has to happen, the Labour Party has to go plain and simple. And all our problems will be resolved. It's 10:20, yes. Good morning. Hello? Hello? Let's try another call. Are you there, caller? Yes. Hello? Hello? You're there, but you're not paying attention. Thank you. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Yeah, Matt, morning.
Morning to you, my brother. How you doing?
Yeah, I did trying, Matt. I did trying. And I listened to a voice note there, the male one.
Mm-hmm.
Then I know what his name, Matt. And let me tell you, Matt.
Leonard Matthew.
He explained it very good. But the thing is it, I don't remember the exact time. But while the nurses also was striking up, I mean, trying to stand up for a little better wages and transportation. They threaten them, tell them they get Cubans. So the Cubans and them suffering up there, and they will take less because they're getting housing. And much you must investigate. Let the people let them. That's an voice note to you that calling Trump wicked. We must investigate about the paying system. So now I understand it's alleged that the Cubans were getting only 20% of the pay and the rest going to the government of them kick back to whoever. So Matt, tell them to take off the mind on Trump. We want this money out, and this man is like a Jonas. Who the man trying to see for the way? What is his name again? Jonah or Jonas?
Jonas, yes.
So this man needs to get the hell out and tell them people to stop wash up them out on Trump.
So you're saying Trump is not the problem. Trump is not the problem.
No, Trump is not the problem.
All right, caller. Thank you. The callers advising that much of the pressure President Trump is currently imposing on the Caribbean islands must be approached on a unified front. The individual approach now adopted points to weak leadership of the Prime Minister. The islands have much to negotiate with, including American attraction to the region for tourism and investment opportunities. Most importantly, time is on our side. Trump has less than 3 years in office. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Yes.
Matt, there's a question. Before I request this song, I want to request a song from Nasir Fountain.
Nasir.
But before I do, let me just ask you: if you pass one day, or if you happen to be working somewhere and you
happen to hear a scream and a suku, as we say in Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a suku and when you look to see somebody, some man or maybe the woman too, abusing the family, or maybe doing some abusive thing to the family, beating them or something. Would you accept that person coming to tell you you should take care of your woman?
No.
Or you should love your woman?
No.
You would not accept that, Matt.
No.
With that said, let's just read between the lines. As I said to you, it's not always wise to just run your mouth, as you always say, and not consult your brain. With that said, Satan cannot correct sin, Matt.
Okay.
I would love if you play that song of Nasio for me, hoping and praying that things would get better. But Rasta know things gonna get worse. It's gonna get brutal.
Crucial?
It's gonna get crucial.
That's it.
It's gonna get brutal. And dog is now eating dog, Matt. It's a sad reality.
All right, Doctor. I heard you. And Nasir, brother Nasir, is still standing, huh? My information suggests that there may be a stop order in place, huh? Somebody says that's a backlash for Alba. Garrett says, treated Dominica like a battered woman. Mr. Don't give an F. Really crucial, huh? We're under a lot of pressure here. Brother Nasir standing.
What puts your attention, my starvation? Man and man hurt is to destruction. Send me never words. I go brutal.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Good morning. Yes?
Not video again. I just want, when I go for my information there, I just want to make a correction there. What I was trying to show, though, is that prime ministers before always engaged the opposition on matters of national interest.
Okay.
And the point I make about Rosie called the opposition, it is Mr. James, the prime minister, and he called Sovereign and Rosie to discuss bananas and the airports. And they discussed it, and they had a discussion on it. And that, of course, shows a certain level of humility and responsibility that these prime ministers exercise. But this prime minister today feels as if he's a one-man cabinet, he's a one-man government, he's a one-man show, and he's a one-man destructor, and that is what he's about. And therefore, he needs nobody to get involved, to get advice, to give advice, to support, to encourage, to influence. And instead of doing that, he will discourage. You notice, when the opposition, not now, since Kevin became leader of the Labour Party and prime minister, he always wanted to have a competition. If the opposition is having something, he wants to have a competition somewhere else, like a vermin kind of behavior in the political Dominican. That is what is really sickening in this place and that this country really is smart. And I call on Dominicans to make up their mind whether we perish or we survive. And we have to look at the survival mood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's take another voice note here. 10:27 in the morning. 10:27. Yes?
Matt, good morning to you and all Dominicans. Matt, you have a very interesting discussion this morning, and I hope I can get my little 2 cents ventilated on your program. Matt, you know what I think, Matt? I think we as a Caribbean people, we are very unreasonable and myopic, particularly us Dominicans. I draw inference to my country, Dominica, that has been receiving Cuban scholarships since in the days of Rosie Douglas, which was good because it benefited Dominicans who pursued free medical studies, a free medical profession from Cuba. But we never stopped to ask, what did Cuba receive from that type of arrangement? It's always about what we can get from elsewhere into our begging bowls, while we fail to hold our governments accountable. Matt, while those countries like Cuba and China and elsewhere gave to Dominica, what was our governments doing? What were they doing? They became more corrupt. They did not use our resources. Example, the CBI funds. They did not use those funds to develop our learning institutions. We had our homegrown Ross University, where medical students from all over the world would come into Dominica and get training. But what happened under the Roosevelt-Skerritt regime? It was exported to Barbados. Meanwhile, Roosevelt-Skerritt is the richest prime minister in the region. On his prime minister's salary, say about $12,000. It could be a little more. Matt, the man became the richest prime minister in the region. He did not write a book, nor does he give speeches like President Obama. He does not have any royalties, nor did he come from a wealthy family. But in 2011, he had accounts in the Cayman Islands with over $20 million. Matt, you know the question we should be asking ourselves today? We should be asking, how much money is in those offshore accounts? Matt, Roosevelt-Skerritt, what he did, he victimized and abused our very same indigenous doctors and nurses. He chose not to hire the same doctors who studied in Cuba and elsewhere. When the nurses demonstrated or spoke out for better work conditions and better pay, he threatened to replace them with Cuban nurses and doctors if they dare ask for better. No respect, no regard for our healthcare professionals. And today, instead of holding him responsible, we are here talking about all sorts of nonsense about what the US is doing, when we should be holding the Caribbean leaders responsible for placing the Caribbean in a poor bargaining position. We blame America, when all the resources of those governments in the Caribbean is mainly to keep the red labor corrupt oligarchs in power. But maybe it's the right thing America is doing to demand the expulsion of Cuban nurses and doctors, so that those corrupt Caribbean leaders can develop their own healthcare systems with their own indigenous people, their own indigenous doctors. Matt, we have to tell ourselves that Dominica made billions, especially under the CBI, that could have developed Dominica in a much better way. We should not be talking about what America is doing right now. We should be in a position of strength. You know how many School of Medicines Dominica could have had, where our professionals could get trained in Dominica, where medical students could fly in all over the world to get trained in Dominica? That is the things that we should be talking about Hold the Roosevelt Skerrit government accountable. Ask them what they did with our resources. And you see why change is absolutely necessary? That is why we should remove Roosevelt Skerrit from office. Thank you.
DA, we love you bad, bad, bad. Joy, the second number, Calypso 2026. We're going to come back for more phone calls.
Long time I did tell you that relationship don't stick. You call me dramatic, a lover of gossip. If Uncle Sam did love you, he'd not put you through hardship. You did not get the logic, you would call me the money. Sometimes when in love, you never see the sign. Narcissistic people know how to control the mind. When they tell you who should be your friend, when to lend and where to defend. That's a big red flag. Mother quickly pack up your bag. One fight of choices that you made. Dominica Mama, we love you bad, bad, bad. Our love for you will not be betrayed. Dominica Mama, we love you bad, bad, bad. To stifle your movements, keep up your documents, and to hurt your cash flow, give a passport a blow. But the Father has always blessed our home. We know that He will never leave us alone. We got virgin soil, our turf can spoil. Right now it's time to feed your focus. Stopping your detractors. Right now it's not. Fight of what we put you through. Dominica Mama, we love you bad, bad, bad. Your children are still proud of you. Dominica, we love you bad, bad. Dominica.
Dominica, we love you bad, bad, bad.
Mama, Mama. But we were one people, one Caribbean for true. Sometimes our actions could cause division. Somehow our selfish interest caused love to diminish. Mom and I women could cause big problems. Because you're not wrong, but from night and wrong, you make your own money, someone to see you down. Already become right, but stuck you right in your backyard. You'll never come last, knowing that we distant love. In spite of what they put you through.
Hey, my brother Ken, visiting another Caribbean island this morning. Good morning to you. Locked in from Nevis.
Love you bad, bad, bad. I can feel the tension among sister islands. Not much love and trust exists among us. But the Father
Yes, in the visions, I know they listen all the time.
will never leave us alone. We got virgin soil, what earth can spoil. Right now it's time to feed your focus. Stopping your detractors. Right now it's a
Now, that's a big question again, huh?
in spite of what they put you through. Dominica Mama, we love you bad, bad, bad. Your children are still proud of you.
You think that's a big one to win that crown again? We'll ask that question sometime later, okay? Good morning to you, Joy. Good morning.
Dominica, Mama, Mama. You have children to feed, housework to repair, and it has not in the heart.
10:37 is the morning time. Let's take more calls. Are you there, caller? Yes, good morning. Yes, good morning.
Hi, morning, Mr. Pelter.
How are you, sir? How are you?
I just hear some brilliant minds speak before me, and everything they have been saying is what the ordinary people have been saying. And I hear Lady speak, I hear Marcelin Edwards, I hear Mr. Matthew. I don't know why our leaders don't listen to those people. I mean, this is reality, Matt. Sometimes you don't like me to go back much on time, but even in the 70s, Matt, you had a youth camp in Marigot. It was a Caribbean college in Marigot, in Wesley, between Marigot and Wesley. It used to be like a college for the Caribbean people. A lot of people come in, like Jamaican, Guyanese, and they were studying all kind of work there. History is not something that lies. So I believe what Martin and them is saying is true. And we're supposed to depend on ourselves more than America. And we must blame America too for all the guns and all the illegal things. And the Caribbean should stand up. I've been saying that for a while. He was with Roosy, and I always say if Roosy was alive, he was in opposition. He would take great men like Walter Rodney's, great legend, and they would protest in one of those big countries. Look at what is happening in America now, man. The police supporting the citizen, and they decide to arrest and fight with the ISIS that treating foreigners that way. The judge free a little boy of 5 years and his father because the law is there for that. America is a land. When you reach it and your country have war, they give you liberty. This is not politics, and I believe, look at all the events that coming up here. You heard Mr. Sam Raphael and Kenny, I think, speaking on DBS, and it's saying the same thing. We have to empower our Caribbean people more than even look for foreign investors. And Mr. Sam Raphael employs something like almost 150 people in his little guest house. And he's telling the government, those are the way to go. Look for your own people first. Look at how much we have been struggling and asking. Look at the event that's coming up for this carnival. Maybe you might have up to 10,000 people in the street of Roseau. But do the government provide an avenue for we, the small manufacturing, to survive? That is what Sam asking. That is what Kenny, I think, Kenny Green, something like that. He asking, we don't know what's going to happen. Look at how they're treating even the young people that want to go and do a better study. Now, when you don't educate the young people and they start to get involved in legal things like Jamaica and Trinidad, you're still going to blame the country and you're pressing them in every corner of the world. I mean, that's why I say Mr. Gregor needs to get a program to help us with people like Mr. Sam Raphael. You know, Sobers was on another program with the Minister of Security on Thursday on Kyrie FM, and he was saying the same thing. Why we don't organize ourselves more in the Caribbean, work, trade. Matt, we had 2 boats, you know. The Federation in the 70s, Canada gave us 2 boats under Libra. They did not all that money and education like this government now, you know. They gave us because we was organized. The Federation, I saw you heard about it, maybe you didn't born yet, it was in the 50s, the late 50s. They was trading, working with each other. Patrick John there used to send sugar to Guyana, and you would bring back, not sugar, you bring back sugar. You would send soap, scandal from DCP, and you bring back sugar and rice. In the 70s, there, Patrick John didn't have all that education and libla them, you know. But they was working together. And that is where the force of the people need to combine. We dividing even on our little small politics. Trinidad cursing us. We Dominican on a radio showing hatred for each other like when women fighting for man. More than we fight the problem in front of us. But I just want people like you sometime and Mr. Gregor to save the people. Because they have a power. Look at how quick you could raise $10,000 to help a less fortunate. These are the work we have to do. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. 1042. I heard a former Cuban, I think Mr. Dr. Damian Dublin, speaking to the issue of Cuba on the Nation Station this morning. Let's listen a bit.
That good sense could prevail on the 60 plus years of embargo. We would really hope that good sense could prevail on the 60 plus years of embargo can be lifted. We also want to see resolution of issues through diplomatic and other means. We reiterate that each country should have the right to develop its resources and its people in a way that they see fit, and that the sovereignty of each country should be respected. We once again pledge our solidarity with the Cuban people in this time, would want that bilateral relationship with Cuba Dominica to last as long as possible.
Well, if Trump has a choice, I don't think that's going to last too long.
Mama, mama. So we were one people, one Caribbean for true. Sometimes our actions could cause division. Somehow our selfish interest cause us to diminish. When I tie women would cause big problems. Because you're not wrong, but from nice and wrong. You make your own money, someone to see you down. Already they come right, but stop you right in your backyard. You never come last, no in bed with the same lover. Why? In spite of what they put you through, Dominica mama, we love you bad, bad, bad. In spite of what they do to you, Dominica mama, we love you bad, bad, bad. I can feel the tension among sister islands. Not much love and trust exists among us. But each other has always blessed our home. I know that he will never leave us alone.
10:45. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Yes.
Hello, Matt.
Hi.
I'm listening to that conversation all morning. Two little things I want to say, Matt. It's an
Okay.
interesting talk. The first thing, man, I grew up with my grandma. You know a little saying nice to say. If you cannot hear, you will feel. You ever hear that, man?
Yes, I hear that from my
Right,
grandmother a
that's
long
number
time.
one, and it's taking everything. I don't even go into depth with like your hair, you will feel. The other thing, Matt, we're talking about nurses and doctors and so on from Cuba. One little question. Remember Dr. IP, Matt?
Dr.
Who
what?
stood up with Dr. IP?
IP.
I'm just asking that. Who
Oh,
stood up
I.
with Dr. IP, our local doctor?
That's
You
true.
understand
Good
that?
question.
That's
Yes.
all.
All right. See? And Dr. IP still standing, eh? Who stood up with him?
Children to feed, house to repair. Because not in the horses, they don't really care. Nine on your own, you kept doing it all alone. Working all kinds of magic, comes like you hungry. Some confidence in taking your brilliant mind. And in return, she feels those who be crying when you see you fall. Just drag you on the cross, making you dependent. In understand is what you
That's the second song of joy.
fight up what they put you through. Dominica mama,
We love you bad, bad, bad.
fight up what they did to you.
Put your hands up if you support that, huh?
All they make is promise, and you tell me this. They know you're under pressure, so they treat you like a beggar. But each other has always blessed our home. I know that he will never leave us alone. We got virgin choice, our time can't spoil. Right now it's time to feed your focus. Stopping your detractors, right now it's must. Why? In spite of what you're going through, Dominica mama, we love you bye, bye, bye.
13 minutes to the hour of 11 o'clock. Are you there, caller? Yes.
So I said there's a little proverb that said, when I do everything right, no one remembers. When I do something wrong, no one forgets. So let's don't forget Dr. Ricketts and even Dr. Theodore that is up in prison there. Let us not forget them. They serve too. And you know, God is able to forgive. And we need to forgive.
All right, caller. Thank you very much. 449-3095-96 I think Dr. Theodore may have been trained in Cuba as well. I may be wrong. If I am, I'll find out more information. 449-3095-96 and 97. 10:48 on the dial there. We're going to take some more phone calls before we wrap up here this morning. This is Q95, and this is the Hot Six. Stick around. Somebody says, Maslin made a very excellent point. As Mr. Tony Asafan said, corruption kills. Just imagine if America banned the money transaction like Western Union or MoneyGram. Yes, we will be in deep to-do. You're right about that. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, Matt.
How are you? How are you?
When Skerrit abused Dr. IP, where are all the other doctors that graduate together with him and study the same area with him? What they say? All of them stay mumu. None of them never stand up with him. Because the king talking, the king is Skerrit, the world boss. Well, tell him Trump is the world boss now. Look at that as his world boss. The world boss is Trump, is not Skerrit. So you guys that are there that making us wickedness, one of these days all will tell all of those doctors, all have doctor trade, and all live in little Skerrit control all you. If all you diploma and all what happened. Well, take it now. Thank you.
All right. Let's call it there, boy. Oh, 1049. He says, take it now. Take it now. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yes. Morning. I've been listening to the program throughout the morning.
Yes, I.
What I believe might happen eventually, because it seems like Trump has his eyes on the Caribbean seriously, and especially those that are associated with Cuba. And he's trying to really come down hard on Cuba as much as he can. Because even before he took office, in the earlier term, in the first term, Cuba was getting a little free up because Obama had freed them up to a certain extent and allowed Americans to travel back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he came, he took that off. So he really has his eyes on Cuba, and he doesn't want to be one of the many presidents that will serve and not fulfill his mission to get Cuba where he wants Cuba to be. And we are part of it. But another thing with us as Dominicans, I remember a prime minister saying, former prime minister saying, we wear our ignorance as a badge of honor, And that is a serious statement, because he said once also that Dominica is independent, but it's only independent on paper. And that's a fact. And that is why, from a longer time, we should be looking at the people, especially the government, to put things in place where we as a people can be a little more independent. For example, with all the money that was made and has been made and is being spent and has been spent, those monies there could be invested in agriculture, in feeder roads, in various other areas that would boost our economy and make us self-reliant and self-sufficient. So right about now, we won't be crying so much about America, because we'll be able maybe to trade with the other OECS and CARICOM, and even CARICOM as a whole and all these OECS kind of things there. All these people, they don't really care about the people. All they care about is going on trips, having meetings, living in the most expensive hotels. They don't care about the local man, So right now, everything is coming to a boiling point. And the next thing I suspect that might happen with all what is going on, America is going to issue travel bans to those countries that are not in conformity with what he wants, that are not complying to whatever he wants. You understand? That's what I know is going to happen, because there's going to be a fear of xenophobia, where people will have that hatred towards foreigners, especially the white people. So as a result of that, more sufferation, I hope not, but what I perceive is more sufferation is going to come, because when people cannot make the tourist dollar, it's more sufferation. You understand? Mm-hmm. And that is why our government, from a longer time, should have looked into making us as a people, instead of trying to impoverish us, to have a suffering and coming to them and kind of a thing, because that is a technique they themselves using. So Trump is using that technique in a bigger way right now. You understand? So he's trying to make us poor, that we can come to him. You understand? He can be the Lord God and Savior. He can be the real world boss. So it has a lot to do with our government and our people as a whole. That is why we are in that situation. So that's all I'll say for this.
All right. Thank you, brother, always for your contribution there. 10:53. Yes, let's go to the boots in the air this morning.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Matt.
Yes, I.
Matt, coming from all the discussions that we've been on at this point in time in the interest of Dominica and the Dominicans, the youth in Dominica. Matt, as you know, I'm in Guadeloupe. And what I see happening in Guadeloupe over the years, it amazes me because I see a people that must strive to success. Matt, when you go to the places where they sell brand new trucks, depending on your loan, if you go to the bank, Matt, you have 30% deducted if you're taking a loan from the price of the unit. Matt, if you take a loan and you pay in the loan, after a couple of years, the banks give you 30% of the payment back to reinvest in whatever the business you're into in your trucking. Matt, agriculture. I just went to a place, a brand new place, open to deal with agriculture. Matt is like a school, a university, everything. You go there, you register that your interest is in agriculture. And right there, Matt, what you get is the opportunity to choose what you want to do in agriculture. If you want to go into processing, planting, whatever, and they will school you in what you want to do. And Matt, you know, they provide a space for you to start whatever you want to do there for a couple of years. And then you must move into your personal operation, be it into agriculture, manufacturing, or whatever it is in the agriculture line. Matt, all our money that those thieves have taken, bank it in other countries. Matt, we need it because the youth of Dominica need opportunities. Let us forget we, the elderly ones that can survive. But the young people, if we cannot get these people to deliver what they take from Dominica, to reclaim, to repossess the amount of our money that they take from Dominica, Matt, we will lose everything. So despite what America is doing, it is just for us in Dominica to be able to stand up for our rights. Bye and good morning. The boots in the air.
I'm going to leave you with this one from the Mighty Sparrow. No apology, huh? Mighty Sparrow. Remember this one?
That couple was the interviewer. I want you to know. He wanted Mandela to condemn Muammar Gaddafi. Fidel Castro, Yasser Arafat, right there on the TV. Mandela said, these people help me when apartheid was on the rise. I then came out of necessity, so I do not apologize. Yes. Just please me to see the people suffering, but chains of bondage have been laid on my head to impede my progress. Those countries that have been laid on my back to curtail my rest. I've been tortured and suffered immensely. They isolate me, incarcerate me. Still in spite of their barbarous cruelty, I will never apologize for my identity.
I'll be back at the 1 o'clock hour.
No apology for my color, it is part of me. Wearing it bravely with honor, loyalty. How can I say sorry for about my name from my parents? Asking that things with the darkness of night yet distinguishes me from others. There were times I know because of it, tears of sorrow had filled my eyes. But the Lord made me free spirit, and I do not apologize. You're continue complaining that it's a bondage have been placed on my head. You impede my progress. And then he said, thorns and thistles have been laid on my head. You curtail my rest. It subject me to growth in humanity, brutality, hostility. But no matter how they're attacking me, I will never apologize for my identity. I don't know what apology for tonight. I have done no wrong. And what I have endured physically have made me more strong. How could I be ashamed of a mind that refuses to be twisted? A heart as warm as the morning sunshine, a character so gifted with trials and tribulations. I am fulfilling destiny, but for emancipation, I owe no apology. You get sit down, destiny, joke of making. It's a bondage have been placed on my head. You impede my progress. And then said, thorns and thistles have been laid on my head. You curtail my rest. I've had my share of pain and misery. It was nasty, downright nasty. If I had cause I'll never apologize for my identity. No apology for me culture, for it's truly right. The folklore of all my ancestors make me feel sublime. I'm not repentant for some music that expresses how I feel. This is melody comes from deep in my soul, enriching all my ideas. This is the rhythm that gives me courage, and the lyrics that make me wise. So in spite of all the bandage, I do not apologize. Yeah. So it grieves me to see the people suffering, but it's a bondage have been placed on my head. You impede my progress. And then he said, thorns and thistles have been laid on my head. You curtail my rest. Their exercises were in futility. That's when they gave me psychotherapy. But they surrendered my life, shouting victory. Cause I never apologize for my identity. And that's the way it is. Am I paralyzed you?
Easy Rock 95.1. More rock, less talk while you work. The latest soft rock hit after hit. Tune into Easy Rock 95.1, the best mid-morning show in the right here on Q95, the big station.
This is our first Global Beyond Q show for 2026, and we continue to engage with our local, regional, and global Q family listeners and friends of Dominica at home and abroad. With me Tuesday night is Justice Dr. Irving Andre, social scientist Simeon Joseph, Father Herman Chaplitz, and Pastor Randy Rodney. We will discuss politics and society, the abuse of religion in Dominica. Here are a few issues and questions and talking points. Is there a clash between politics and the gospel? Does the church in Dominica play any role in preserving democracy? Should pastors and priests be involved in politics? Are some political leaders preying on religion, or are these leaders preying on the poor? Is religion being used as an opium of the people or as an oppressor of the people? Have religious events been poisoned by the lust for power and money? Have politicians pivoted to scripture and religious ceremonies to influence and pacify voters? Is there an exchange between government and churches in shaping the moral fiber of the nation? Have politicians and government hijacked religious ceremonies and festivities for political gain? Can gospel music festivals be organized by government be genuine economic drivers for Dominica? Why should a government organize a gospel festival free of charge and yet not disclose the source of the financing and the proceeds generated from the event? Is the separation of church and state a valid proposition? Does the church have a role to play in justice and peace? Can peace exist without justice? What about human rights and the dignity of human beings? So we look forward to the contributions of Justice Dr. Irving Andre, social scientist Simeon Joseph, Father Herman Chaplin, Pastor Randy Rodney, and the callers and viewers on the radio, on Facebook and on YouTube, on our topic, Politics and Society, the abuse of religion in Dominica. So join us for more Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on the Global View.
Come to the home of the real mass, Dominica's Carnival, January 10 to February 18. Mass Dominic 2026. Book your flight today. For more information, DominicaFestivals.com.
Easy Rock 95.1. More rock, less talk while you work. The latest soft rock hit after hit. Tune into Easy Rock 95.1, the best mid-morning show in the right here on Q95, the big station.
I am not a Californian. I'm just a messenger musician. I am not a politician. I'm just a hard-working simple man. I want to let them know I'm from the God of soul. Can be moving all over.